Good morning, friend. Welcome back to the Ride In. It's Wednesday morning, August the 27th. I appreciate you tuning in today. This morning I wanted to chat with you about the importance of protecting your calling. This is actually one of the main highlights of my Bible study tonight as we continue through our He Restoreth My Soul series, and we are talking tonight, second message in the section on protect. Did you know that God made you for a reason? And He's gifted you with abilities, talents, spiritual gifts, resources for a divine purpose in your life. This morning I was reading in 1 Corinthians, I believe it's chapter 12, where the Apostle Paul was talking about how God has He has tempered the body together, the church body, and each one of us are members in that body, and we have a specific purpose within that body to make a difference, to add value. And it's important for us to assess our lives, to know ourselves in such a way as we seek the Lord and ask Him to shine the light on what it is that He's called us to do. The Apostle Paul said, I finished my course. Jesus said, I have finished the work thou gavest me to do, in speaking to the Father. And I hope that that's something that's important to you, that you would fulfill the purpose for which you were made. I realize that many of us have made mistakes and have made poor decisions and have flat out sinned in our past, and it can be easy to feel like we've forfeited the perfect plan, or there's no way we could possibly fulfill that plan at this stage in our life. And I want you to understand that God doesn't work that way. God wants to take you from where you are, and God specializes in taking a curse and turning it into a blessing. Don't worry about your past. Just think of the Apostle Paul. He had a past. He persecuted Christians and was implicit in the martyrdom of different Christians. We know specifically Stephen. But God got a hold of his life, and God changed him, and God gave him a new life. Even Moses, who grew up in Egypt, wasn't 40 years old until he understood his calling, and then spent another 40 years in the wilderness until he saw God at Sinai, and then went back to be used of God to help deliver the Jews. God's not limited by your past at all. You've got to go forward from where you are. So, Christian, I just want to encourage you today to seek the Lord. You can't just look at yourself. You've got to look at yourself in light of looking at God. When you see God clearly in your life through His Word and through the Spirit's illumination, only then will you be able to truly see yourself in the light that God wants you to see you. I'm thinking of Isaiah in Isaiah 6, where he saw the Lord high, holy, and lifted up, and it wasn't until then where he truly saw himself as a sinful man, and it humbled him before God, and then he was willing to say, here am I, Lord, send me. God put out the call, whom shall I send? Who will go for us? And Isaiah said, here am I, Lord, send me. I wonder if you have that attitude towards God. Have you ever considered your life? No, maybe you're not called to ministry, full-time ministry per se, to be a pastor, preacher, teacher. That doesn't matter. God has a purpose for you in his church, regardless of how famous you are, regardless of what your title is, of how many people know about what you do. God's not limited by any of that. But I want to challenge you each and every day of your life to walk closely with the Lord so that you can hear his voice, that you can see his plan unfold. And in that calling that he gives you, that's special. That's between you and your master, you and your Lord. And you have to guard that calling the best that you can, because the devil comes along to steal, kill, and destroy. And it's his utmost effort to keep you from fulfilling that purpose for which God made you. You must walk closely with the Lord, guard your heart, and guard your calling. And don't let anything get in the way of what God's made you to do. Seek God, he'll help you. I hope that's an encouragement to you today. Have a good one. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.